Welcome back to Bestocast. I'm that pantsless producer Paul, and in this episode we are talking trailers for 3 highly anticipated movies: Deadpool and Wolverine, Borderlands, and Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. Oh my! Alright, so, I'm going to pull up the trailers for each of these movies. I stated above, I'll be watching, I should say, Deadpool and Wolverine, Borderlands, and Godzilla x Kong. But, with copyright reasons for YouTube and a lot of the other places that you may be listening to this podcast, I can't really use the clips. I can't have the audio leaking over, so I'm going to have to pause the audio, watch these clips, and I'll try to give my best on-the-spot reactions, speculations, etc., etc., etc. Oh, you know the drill by now. Let's just move on. Finally, I have a poll that will help decide the topic of an upcoming episode of Bestocast. You get to help in the decision of the topic that I'm going to talk about, which would be the first episode in our story arcs, or whatever, of our favorite cartoons. Right now on the chopping block is 85's Thundercats Exodus episode, 83's G.I. Joe Mass Device miniseries, 87's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtle Tracks, or 1984's Transformers More Than Meets the Eye story arc. You can find the poll in the community section of youtube.com/bestotv. And in the comments section of that poll, please comment your favorite cartoon episode or story arcs you would like to have considered for another poll. Now back to the episode. So I just watched the Deadpool 3 trailer, or I guess now it's Deadpool and Wolverine. It's official. Wade Wilson is in the MCU. What does that mean? I have no idea. I've been trying to stay away from trailers. I've been trying because trailer editing sucks anymore. Basically, the plot twists or whatever are generally revealed within the trailer, and all the best parts are in the trailer, and once you go to see the movie, you've pretty much seen the movie before seeing the movie. You're just giving them the courtesy of giving them the money. I haven't seen Madam Web. I've heard horrible things about Madam Web, but my understanding is once you've seen the trailer to Madam Web, that's all you need to know. The trailer is much better than the movie itself. But I have a YouTube channel, and I'm going to have to concede a little bit. But anyway, my first exposure to this was the Super Bowl, the big sports ball game, the thing that we only watch to watch the commercials because nobody really cares about either team. Well, I mean, I barely watch football, and the team that I would root for the most didn't even make it. So, I'm only there for to party, I guess, and to watch the movie trailers. I've noticed a new thing that happens nowadays where we don't even play the damn trailers anymore. We play trailers to trailers. Here's the Deadpool Wolverine trailer, 3 seconds. Oh, go to youtube.com/blah blah 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 to watch the trailer because we rather the interaction. You paid how much to be on a Super Bowl ad to telling me to go to the website? Every trailer on the Super Bowl was like that. Of course I did the thing, and I clicked on the thing and I watched the thing. I watched Deadpool Wolverine, darn it. Hugh Jackman's back. He's Wolverine. We want to see more Wolverine. We want to see some more Deadpool. We want to see what they're going to do with Deadpool in the MCU. Exciting stuff. Spoilers, I'm sorry, but if you watch the trailer, you know. But the TVA is involved with this. It's this fun aspect where, because Deadpool, he's self-aware and he runs on the outside of the comic book spectrum, in the MCU or in the movies, he can run that line, and I think they could have a lot of fun with this character. I've unfortunately been spoiled a lot of stuff. I don't know if they're spoilers. I don't know if they're if it's just BS or stuff, but they just keep replaying the one scene. You see it in the trailers. You see the broken Fox logo in the background, which I'm assuming it's the I forget what it's called in Loki. You see it in Loki. It's the end of time. It's basically when the timeline lines are pruned, it all dumps to the end of time. It dumps in this spot. And I'm assuming that's what this is that it's this dumping ground at the end of time. But they could have so much fun with this. But given the current state of the MCU and how up their own ass they are sometimes about this kind of stuff, I'm a little bit wary about it. Filming took place during a writer's strike. Ryan Reynolds was supposedly not supposed to allow to ad-lib because that's considered writing. And so, who knows? Based on the trailer alone, I'm excited. Based that I've liked the first Deadpool films, I'm fairly excited. I'm not too excited that it's Disney taking over. I'm hoping that Disney just looked the other way and let them kind of have a little bit of free reign and fun with this. We'll see. And I'm most excited for Wolverine. I know a lot of people were like, well, this shit's all over Old Man Logan, or Logan, I guess they called it. And he had a proper ending, but this is all time travel stuff. You can pick Wolverine up from any area, anywhere, anytime. The Logan story is not ruined. It doesn't detract from it. It's fine. We get little teases of Wolverine in this. I'm surprised with the amount of Hugh Jackman spoiler pictures that have already been all over the net that they don't just right out show him. But they tease him in this trailer, which is kind of a fun aspect. You see Patch, Wolverine in the white tuxedo. This may not be the Fox MCU, that this could be a different timeline. This could be a different Logan. I've seen rumors that this may not even be Patch. This may be was it Patch Frost, or no, Diamond Patch, which is a more current storyline that deals with I think Gamora gets a hold of the Infinity Stones and she ends up creating a pocket universe. There was a series called Infinity Warps where they kind of basically did I used to always say the Allegheny, and I guess it's not pronounced Allegheny, but I have no pronunciation key in front of me. Amalgam, I think it's amalgam. Amalgam is the actual word. The Amalgam universe, where DC and Marvel once merged, and they combined their two popular characters. They kind of did that within the MCU just recently. It wasn't too terribly long ago. And Diamond Patch was Emma Frost and Wolverine merged together as one character. Okay. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Everybody's a variant now. Nobody dies. Everybody's a variant. So we deal with that kind of stuff. I'm assuming that we're going to deal with a little bit of Loki in this. We're dealing with time travel. And I think if given their own free reign, they could have a lot of fun with this. This could be fun. Based on the trailer, it's got that kind of snarky Deadpool kind of thing. He's self-aware. He breaks the fourth wall. He's talking to us in the audience. I'm excited for it. I know I'll say that about pretty much any MCU movie. I don't know. MCU as of late, there's a lot of things that have come out where it's like I'm not so much excited for anymore. MCU has almost started going down the same route as what Star Wars has started going down that same route, where it's like I want to watch all this stuff on Disney Plus, but you guys are all over the damn board with this, and I kind of just don't care because you're just overloading me with too much shit. Or Star Wars has kind of done that for me once before, where you can't watch all the cartoons and read all the books and watch all the movies, all 6 of the movies at that time, and so on and so forth, and have it all connect. I get it. You're gonna have to pick and choose. The MCU is starting to get that way as well. I was excited for Echo, and I watched one episode of Echo, and I was so bored. I probably got to force myself watch Echo so that at least I can comment wherever I can comment on the YouTubes. But this is about Deadpool. A lot of rumors going around where this might serve as a reboot to the MCU. I don't know. I guess it can, but I kind of feel like this was already in motion before all this other crap about like Ant-Man and Kang and the Marvels. I guess there could have been last-minute script rewrites, but this also happened during a strike. I don't know. Can studios just do rewrites without the writers during a strike? Is that allowed? I don't know how that universe works. I'm excited to see Wolverine. Personally, as far as Wolverine goes, I kind of hope that this is him kind of helping out, and then he kind of bows out, and we do get a rebooted MCU Wolverine. As much as I like Hugh Jackman and stuff, I'm ready for a rebooted Wolverine. However, knowing Disney and knowing the MCU, and the direction that the latest movies go, they'll give us X-23 as the Wolverine stand-in from here on out, and we won't get a Wolverine, an actual Wolverine. I liked Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine, but when Fox did the X-Men stuff, they were all over the board, and they weren't really true to the character, and they did a disservice to the character anyway. It's all these X-Men movies, and it's about the X-Men, but it's really about Wolverine and the X-Men. They really push Wolverine first because he's the one that sold the comics. He's the one that crossed over in all the comics. He was on the Avengers team. He was on the other Avengers team. He was probably on both the good Avengers team and the bad Avengers team. He was on the good X-Men team. He was on the bad X-Men team. He was everywhere in the 90s. I remember like buying books because he was in them, because I was a big Wolverine collector. Sorry, tangent here, but I have a few books where like he's on the cover and that's it. He was just on the cover just to sell that book. There's one book where it's like the Marvel UK cut series and he's on the cover of that book, and you read the book and he's like maybe he's in a panel or whatever, and it's not really him, it's a hologram. He moved books in the 90s, and I kind of get it why they kind of leaned into it in when they made the films. They want to make sure that asses are in seats, so they put Wolverine first. So I kind of wish for a rebooted Wolverine. I like X-23. She's fine. I think if they bring X-23 in the MCU before they bring like the Logan Wolverine, it's kind of a disservice to Logan. Well, it's not really a disservice to Logan. It's a disservice to X-23 and how they're tied together. I guess they could do the whole they got the DNA from Wolverine while he was time jumping or some sort of bullshit. I don't know. And the other thing I'm kind of cringing about in the MCU is that they'll probably do the Old Man Logan thing that they did in the comics, which I kind of hated in the comics. I mean, I like the Old Man Logan story arc that had a proper ending. They make him man out of time, and it was during a time where they killed Wolverine in the comics, and X-23 was to take up the mantle of Wolverine. She was going to be her own character. She was going to stand apart and not to walk in the shadows of Logan. And that lasted for like, what, a day? Logan passes the mantle on. He croaks. Oh, you're going to be your own thing. Oh, here comes Daken. Here comes Honey Badger. Here comes all these other characters that are just all like Wolverine Juniors, Wolverine spinoffs. And then we bring old man Wolverine that's from a different timeline, and he's going to be your mentor. So you never really get X-23 standing out on her own. Like, she's always seems to be in the shadows of the character that moves the damn books, that proverbially puts asses in seats. I don't know if you put asses in seats when you're selling a comic, but that's you get it. You get it. I kind of feel like that's the route that they'll go, is that the MCU will go. It's like, we're going to put X-23 first, and we're going to keep Hugh Jackman around as Old Man Wolverine since he's time lost. He'll play the role of Old Man Wolverine from here on out. You heard it first. If this is what they do, if that's the way they go, you heard it here. Share that video to anybody and everybody when this happens and say, he said it first. Anyway, that was me talking about Deadpool Wolverine 3 by not talking about Deadpool Wolverine, but talking about Wolverine. I guess the speculation is that after Deadpool and Wolverine, moving forward in the MCU, these doors are open after this, that this is the possibility where, just looking at what they've done in the past and everything. I kind of feel like after the Marvels, if we get the X-Men, they're all going to be like time lost. Instead of having mutants on the MCU version, we're going to have mutants that are all out of the timeline. Kind of works for characters like, I guess, Bishop or like Cable, but they are all from timelines that had mutants to begin with. This had no mutants ever because of licensing reasons. But anyway, I can make an entire episode on that. I need to move on, and I need to watch Borderlands. I complained about Super Bowl commercials. I'm going to complain about something else that is more recent. Why do we have like a little preview trailer before the damn trailer? Just play the trailer. I'm already here to watch the trailer. Why do you have you're about to watch the trailer in 3, 2, 1, just play the trailer. Anyway, Borderlands. This one kind of caught me by surprise. I mean, I knew it was coming out, but I also knew it was kind of delayed. I remember we're like way back when they announced the Mario Brothers movie, and Jack Black was going to play King Koopa. Bowser. And they also announced that he was going to be playing Claptrap as well. There was a time when superhero movies were hard to make. They would just go in random directions, not play any type of homage to the comics whatsoever. And video game movies are kind of having. Not kind of. They've had the same thing. You look at the original Mario Brothers movie and how like not anything like that game. It was that movie. We've kind of come around. There have been some. I mean, again, the last Mario Brothers movie was pretty much as close as we were going to get to a Mario movie. It plays more homage to the current Mario world than the 8-bit Mario. How you really gonna write an 8-bit Mario movie? For me personally, the best video game movie was a movie that wasn't really based off of any video game, and that was like Wreck-It Ralph. They had those characters pretty spot on, even though the characters were playing characters themselves, kind of, sort of. Borderlands. I want funny. I want zany. Those games were kind of weird. The characters you played were kind of stable, like they're kind of more the straight men, but everything else around them was weird. Watching this trailer, of course they had to include Tiny Tina, which is a fan favorite. It's a personal favorite of mine. I have the Tina from Borderlands 3 action figure that McFarlane made on my shelf here. She is funny. She is quippy. Her role best served in the games is that she's a background character. She's not a character that's you constantly play or you're constantly around all the time, which I think that works as a character in the video game. However, in the movie, they decided that she has to team up with the team and she has to be part of the main cast. And the whole world's insane, but she's insane and quippy, and she just comes across as very normal. There was like maybe one scene in that trailer where it's like, that's Tiny Tina, but the rest of the movie, she's, I don't know. You got two actors, you got Kevin Hart and you got Jack Black, who are playing, not so much that they're playing funny characters, but they themselves are comedic actors. They do comedy. You got Tiny Tina, who's supposed to be funny, but she has to compete against Claptrap and Roland. Roland? Kevin Hart. I feel like she's going to be overshadowed. I'm hoping the best for her, but my reactions to this trailer is like, oh, Tina, oh, hopefully they don't do you dirty. Come on. I've already seen the bitches and complaints that this is just a ripoff of Guardians of the Galaxy. Hey, I like Guardians of the Galaxy. And if this is a Guardians of the Galaxy light, then that's fine. I'm okay with this being Guardians of the Galaxy light. Whatever, like I said before, whatever put asses in seats, that's fine. I frequently complain about Thor Love and Thunder being Looney Tunes when it should be it should walk the line of comedy and seriousness and not just be a laugh a minute, versus Borderlands, where I think that if it were Looney Tunes, the source material would make it okay to be a Looney Tunes type movie where there's a yuck a minute, and this movie is not a yuck a minute. at least according to the trailer. That's just the impression of the trailer. I go to movies to enjoy them. If this is a thing of am I going to wait till this comes on streaming, or am I going to go into the theaters? I actually would like to go to the theaters and get a tub of popcorn and just turn my brain off and enjoy this movie, not just sit here and be an internet critic and line up with everybody else and just rip it apart and just be super negative about it. I want to be entertained. This movie looks entertaining. The only thing that I want, if they strafe even close to the comedy or at least do the characters right by following how the characters are written for Borderlands. If it takes place in the Borderlands universe and has that kind of wit to it, I'm okay with it. If it's a big studio sellout where we just put in the biggest name stars and stuff, and we just paint it so it looks like Borderlands, and in actuality it's just whatever bullshit script that we don't want to do any homage to Borderlands whatsoever, then yeah, I'm kind of out. Weird selection of characters. I probably wouldn't have picked those characters specifically for the central characters. Just wow me movie. You don't have to be a blockbuster, but just wow me. Now I just watched Planet of the Apes, Kong X Godzilla. I mean, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm kind of meh when it comes to the American version of Godzilla. I'm okay with a MonsterVerse. I'm okay with a Kaijuverse. I was excited with them smooshing these things together. I liked Skull Island. Skull Island is probably the best one in this series. I'm indifferent when it comes to Godzilla. Like the American-made Godzilla is just kind of I don't know. Like there's just something about it, and I know like I'm watching this and it's like, well, I recognize some plot points to this that comes from Godzilla versus Kong. But I only watched Godzilla vs. Kong once during the pandemic, and that's it. What I remember of Godzilla vs. Kong was that, or what the thoughts that were going through my head was like, this is very Transformers-esque, where they paint a very broad strokes to make it look like a Godzilla movie. But everything happens so fast. Don't question anything. Plots just happen. Things just happen. Sparkly stuff. And I know I just said, oh, I'll go to Borderlands. Borderlands will sell me a ticket because, you know, as long as they show me flashy things, I'll be fine. And then this, I'm gonna rip apart because it's like, well, they're just all over the place with this series. I forgot that this movie was even coming out. I had to tell you the truth. Oh yeah, this is a thing that exists. I forgot that this is a thing that exists. This is a thing that also has its own series. You know, it's gone down the streaming route, and you have to have one of a bajillion different streaming services that exclusively has this project. There's more lore to it that I'm missing out, because screw that. I'm tired of having all these streaming services, so I'm just going to skip out on it. So who knows? Maybe there's tiebacks to that. We got Godzilla. We get more Kongs. We get all the Kongs. I'm sure that if Miss Mittens Kong appears in the series, they might hear from Mr. Lobo's lawyers. Or they won't. Like Miss Mittens, who? I can't say that I'm not gonna have. I'm gonna turn my brain off and watch Borderlands, but then I'm gonna have my brain on for Godzilla. Here's the boil down. It's two big. Well, it's more than two. It's a bunch of big monsters fighting each other. So let's watch a bunch of big monsters fighting each other. The downside is that the Americans kind of spend a lot of time on like the human characters and very little time on the big monsters. So that might be the drawback, where it's like, oh, who gives a shit? I want to see pixels punching each other. That's what I want to see. If I see pixels punching each other, then I will enjoy this movie. Top to bottom rated. You know, we got Deadpool, Wolverine, we got Godzilla X Kong, and then we've got Borderlands. Most excited to least excited for. It's easily Deadpool, Wolverine's number 1. Borderlands is number 2, believe it or not, and Godzilla X Kong is number 3 on my excitement level of what I want to see. Do you agree with this? You need to let me know in the comments below. And if you like this kind of format where I kind of review some of the latest trailers, comment, let me know if you want more of this. This I feel is a fun aspect too, where like later on, if I do watch the movies and if I do a podcast episode on these movies, I can come back and I can reflect on that and I'm like, hey, I was right, or hey, I was wrong, or hey, I was totally off the mark, or hey, I really enjoyed Godzilla X Kong. This was probably the best one, or whatever. Please subscribe. Remember to please like and share the video. If you have the opportunity, please join our members area. I'm working on putting some stuff in the members area for members only kind of stuff. I'm considering maybe a segment 5 version of Bestocast, where maybe I can watch this in a live stream within our members area, where I don't have to worry about like the copyright problems, or if they copyright strike it, so what? It's not going to be a public facing thing. It helps support the show. It helps support your favorite channel, and of course also don't forget to go to the community tab and vote for our cartoon episode, what pilot you would like me to watch. That's all the time that I have, and I will catch you next time on the next exciting episode of Bestocast.